Hi guys, so here's the directions on how to make your mask. You're gonna receive two pieces. One is an outer layer, so it'll be a print. The one is an inner layer. It could be a solid color, it could be white. You're gonna have two of each. You're gonna start sewing around the edge first. We'll do the lining first. You'll sew it 1/4 inch, match up the cut edge with the edge of your foot. As you stitch, make sure you're using a tiny stitch, not a large stitch, because you want to make sure that the air doesn't get in. So go around, secure it off, and cut. You'll do the same, cut your threads. You'll do the same for the top piece. Making sure you clip your threads to make everything nice and neat and pretty. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna open this up. You're gonna flip the seam allowance right here to the left of yourself. You're gonna top stitch it nice and tight. This eliminates any air holes for the virus to get through. You're gonna just top stitch that nicely. 1/4 inch. You're gonna work from the top to the bottom. And there you go. Now we're gonna do the next one. Again, push the seam allowance to the left and top stitch them. Right, using your machine foot as a guide. Going gently at a time. And make sure your seam allowance is to the left. Pin and clip all your threads. There's always so many threads. And then place the two together. You will notice that your lining is a bit shorter than the self. It'll go right directly to a little notch that's clipped into your pattern. If this one unfortunately doesn't have it, but there'll be a little notch in your pattern and your lining goes straight to that. And then you're going to sew the two together, again, 1/4 inch, which is usually the edge of your machine, your foot machine, or your machine foot, I should say. Going around and carefully not to stretch the fabric too much so it stays nice and tight around the nose and under eyes. There we go. Back stitch when you're done. Next, match your seam to your seam like that. One seam allowance will be going that way, the other seam allowance will be going the opposite way. You put them together, bring this over to the notch, put it down 1/4 inch, all the way across. Make sure they're nice and even. And there you have it. There's your mask. Now one of the other things to do is to turn it inside out. And again, clipping your threads out of the way. Make it nice and neat. And then we'll take it to the table and we'll show you how to press it. Hi guys, now that we're finished putting it together, we're at the iron and we're gonna give it a quick press. So you've got your outer layer, you've got your inner layer, you've got your edges here, the sides which are raw. But right now we're gonna press all this edge real quick. So we're gonna turn the lining in. I like to put it over top of a pressing ham because it helps with the curve. Give it a good shot of hot steam. Make sure your iron is on cotton setting Fold that around nicely. Carry your press out into the outer edges of the side seam where it's still raw. And you can see just a quick press with the steam iron. Makes it nice and finished. So now you have these little raw edges left, which are the side seams. These are for where the elastic is going to go. You're going to fold this in a 1/2 inch, roughly a 1/2 inch. Give it a press. And then you're going to sew it in, or press it in again, one more. So it's a turn. Do the other side. And one more. So now we'll go back and we'll insert the elastic. Ready? So now that you've pressed it, you're going to insert your 1/4 inch elastic at the very top of the mask, right here. You're going to just slide it in, fold that over. Whoops. And you're going to stitch it down with a nice secure stitch. You're actually going to fold this back over this way first. So tuck it in and then fold it back. And then give it a nice secure top stitch. Go all the way down the fold, get the next one ready, slide it in, fold it over, top stitch. Stop near the edge, raise your foot, leave the needle in it, raise your foot, turn it, hand crank 2 or 3 stitches, turn again, and then continue down. Holding onto the elastic and then just back stitch. Clip your threads, make it pretty. Then on this side, take your elastic, make sure you're not twisting it. Crank it under, slide it under, fold it over. Put it behind the foot, and then it's out of the way. And then repeat the same step. There we go. Grab this one, bring it over, slide it under, fold it over, move it out of the way so you don't have a mess. Fold it this way and down. Clip your threads. There you go. Now ain't she purty? And this is how it works. There we go. So thank you everyone for taking this and doing it. And let's see what we can do to help the world. Thank you.